going to do a video this weekend, but I just heard a snippet of Ed Davey speaking at the conference for the Lib Dems, and oh my god, you know, as I said, I think this country is literally turning into an asylum, like mental, in so many ways. There's so many stories that add evidence to that. But hearing Ed Davey speak, he starts off with how Trump is a risk to our security and safety as a nation. Trump, who was put up for a Nobel Peace Prize for his Abraham Accords. Trump, who's the only president in recent history who hasn't gone into war. Trump, who is working really hard to bring peace to what could be a historically bad situation for the world. And the West are portraying Trump as this sinister madman. That's a danger. As I've said before, with so many things that are upside down, when they tell you it's hot when it's freezing, when they tell you it's a man when it's a woman, when they tell you, I don't know, you know, whatever, they're now saying someone who's fighting for peace is a danger. And Ed Davey went on to say, look at what Russia are doing in Romania. What are Russia doing in Romania? I've seen the EU and the West act outrageously in not allowing an election result to be held because they don't like the guy who won it, then trying to imprison him, then banning him from being able to run again because it looked like he would just win again because he's really popular. But Russia's the bad one again. Russia, who, as I've said, in my opinion, aren't asking for a massive amount. They want the war in the eastern provinces, Donbass area, to stop, for Russian Ukrainians to be stopped from being killed, that they have been for the last decade. They want NATO to back off, as they promised. And they've not really said it for a long time, but I think ideally also shut down all the American-led biolabs. I think that's kind of it. And again, we are putting ourselves at risk of World War III for a country that is building $1 billion ski centre luxury resort next year, where Britons go to for dental care at the minute because it's so bad in the UK, where it's known, Ukraine, to be one of the most corrupt countries in the world, where they've had BBC documentaries on child trafficking through orphanages, selling body parts. And there was a Ukrainian woman arrested just last week. I think she had like nearly 50 kidneys or something. And there's all these billions of dollars going missing and military equipment going missing, ending up in very dubious hands. There's Ukrainian politicians with really rare supercars and buying houses in Switzerland and California with cash. And we want to put ourselves at World War III risk for this country, where if you go to Kiev, safer, nicer, more pleasant, pretty much in my opinion, than London right now. And people are like, oh, Russia can't win anything, they've only stuck to these little areas. Yeah, that's because they're only bothered about those little areas where people have been persecuted for 10 years, where Ukraine have banned the Russian language, banned the main religion, Russian Orthodox Church, legalized discrimination against Russians. Yeah, there's a reason Russia haven't gone any further. They haven't gone to the capital. Like in any war, you would attack the capital. This is not that. This is why Russia, who were about to sign a peace deal in 2020, started to take back their troops before Boris and the West again intervened and pushed aggression and continued the war. We are living in really dangerous times, and it's not because of Russia. Putin is a big European lover. He wanted to be part of NATO. Every time I see him, he talks a lot of sense. and seems very genuine compared to a lot of our leaders, right? The danger to us right now is from living in a world where we have politicians who are so deranged and ideologically captured, where they are killing our economies with net zero, where they're giving all of our industries and money to China, giving them a global hub in our capital. That's a great risk security wise. When they don't know what a man is, 100 genders, and Russia by Russia, Russia, Russia. It's always Russia. Heathrow was Russia until they realised it wasn't. Imagine how great it would be if I was leader, I would embrace Putin. As mad as that sounds to many, I would welcome him in, bring him into NATO, work with them and economically. And I don't see any aggression from Russia apart from what's happening in Ukraine, which, as I've said, has been building up since the 90s, mostly due to America, NATO aggression and America involvement in Ukraine. People who are going, oh, but look at this, look at what? I haven't seen any other signs of aggression from Russia when in comparison to what NATO's been doing the last 30 years. We really need to wake up from this derangement syndrome, where Trumpy, again, is being talked about potentially, if this goes well, being nominated again for a Nobel Peace Prize for the second time. And he's been alluded to as the bad man and the risk to us all. No, the risk to us all is this ideologically captured, far left, woke, woo-woo mentality. We seriously need to bring the adults back into the room, and fast.